What did you learn about problem solving? What did you learn about teaching problem solving? And what did you notice that was the same or different about this session versus the other ones that we've done so far? And I'll write them up on the board, but take a couple minutes to brainstorm some ideas.
Yeah, so I guess
the tree's gonna leave you with biology. Like,
all right. Chicago, do you guys want to share first?
I guess we talked about how there was so many turns in the question, and we kept asking a question, and it would lead to a different question, and we were trying to answer that question, and it would lead to a different question, and we didn't really ever answer the question, but we answered a lot of questions.
So, questions lead to more questions?
Lead to more questions.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said.
Questions lead to more questions. Okay, what did you guys have?
We were just saying allow for open-ended questions. So it was very, the first question was very open and allowed for a lot of different approaches and kind of find comfort in the openness of the question.
Iowa?
I guess kind of related to that, resist the urge to make assumptions, like to narrow the question down to one interpretation. So don't assume the question is the first thing you think of if it's vague.
Great.
I would kind of tag on to the one before. If you make assumptions and get somewhere, the next immediate thought ought to be, okay, now let's step back and take away one of those assumptions. Because getting one part of it kind of narrowed down allows you maybe to feel a little bit of sense of, I've solved something, but then telling yourself, now I have to step back and say, okay, let's strip away one of those assumptions. Or think specifically about the assumptions that you did make so that you can undo those and see the other parts of the problem are there.
Very good. Okay, now please talk with your team for a minute about this one. What did you learn about teaching problem solving? And I want a different person from each team to share out when we go around.
Missing. I can try and factor equations. It is because I forgot this particular paragraph.
All right. I know everyone wants to go to lunch, so we're going to keep it moving here. So we'll start on this side this time, so not Glenn. Somebody else on your team.
We talked about just a personal narrative she brought in. It was a nice little, little break, but we got to know that and just the reason why maybe we're doing some of this. And just as a middle school teacher, I know junior high kids and middle school kids really like to hear a little story once in a while about why we're doing this, or even just about yourself to see it, where it's coming from.
I think like quickest is not like whenever you're first given a task as a group, it's like you are just so competitive. You're like, okay, let's get it. And then we get it, you're like, okay, we got 140. Oh, I got 140, I got 140, yeah, we're done. And then it's like, she puts it on the board and it's like, yeah, I got 140, good job. That's not right. And it was like, it brought everybody down a notch. Like, quickest is not always the best. It slowed everybody down. Like, as a class, it slowed us all down like, oh, we did not think about it that way. And it was really refreshing to think slow about it and just to open yourself up to all of the different aspects of the question and see things you didn't see.
Okay. Is that okay? Okay. Iowa?
We talked about helping kids to think systematically and to organize their work. We want to make sure we get all the squares, but we don't want to double count them, and we also don't want to miss some.
I think there's value in also having kids compare their organizations the way they are organized, so they can make a judgment on what's more efficient.
Good.
We kind of talked about the simplicity of the task, and it started with with something as simple as the square, the 1x1 square, and also how it went from just the basic geometry to combine of the strands and went to the algebra, and it kind of explained Pythagorean. So from a different perspective. So we just talked about how we crossed over and combined different strands of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So like a simple tasks, or seemingly simple. I mean, it's like, it seemed simple, but it was very deep in that it did connect multiple strands of mathematics, right? Okay, Kentucky?
Most of the things that we've said are up there, and I guess the only other one, it kind of ties into the second one, finding the first column, finding comfort and openness of the question, I think is allowing kids to find comfort in teaching them to be able to resist the urge to keep asking the next question. Well, what exactly do you want me to do?
Kind of building off of that, you said it's okay to leave things open. Like, you don't always have to package everything neatly at the end of one session.
All right, well, thank you all for your hard work this morning. Please enjoy your lunch and be back at 2:30.